Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. I've got I'm doing some videos on some of the things that really have threatened us over the last almost 50 years of living here. I think it's 48, 49 years. But snow is probably the single biggest threat to our lives, our survival out here, especially where I am at. A lot of people live in, places where they get a lot of snow, 4 or 5 feet even. But most of the time they got plows, or they're not 5, 6 miles from the absolute anybody, and that's where we're at, and have been for 48 years. I have a lot of stories that are, on the negative side, but I think they're probably interesting to hear. I think people that, a lot of you, that live in suburbia or lesser places that don't get a lot of snow, or you have neighbors, it may be interesting for you. So that's why I'm gonna start giving account of some of the the things we had. This is one of the snowstorm things that it wasn't so much the storm as much as it was after the storm. But we had we have the snow. Usually, when they have a bad snowstorm, it'll hit about 5 feet deep. That's a bad one. And we're, like I said in my other videos, our house is about a mile off the main road. There's nobody around for 5 to 6 miles, period. Any direction you go, you're not going to get out. And it's a slight downhill from the main road. And when you get to the main road, it's just an old highway that nobody uses. It only feeds up to my place and a little bit beyond that. And so anyway, but the snow scares me, and I do have a lot of fright for the forest fires. We've had a few close ones, that have, I talked about the Calder fire was the biggest one, but we've had other ones that have been pretty close too, but they've got them out. But I'll talk about some of those later. But anyway, getting back to this is one of the deals that we had. We had a really bad snowstorm, and it dumped about 5 feet in a drifts, and probably 4.5 feet just otherwise. In fact, it was so big. My grandson Jeff, who's at the time he's getting on 30 now. My kids are all close to on 50, but he has a wife, and we have 3 kids and one on the way right now, or he does. And but this is when he had the wife, and he had our little grandson, and that was all that were coming in. And it was so deep that let me back up. He's got a rental house that we rent to him cheap on the lower part of the property, and it's a good climb out, to get out when you want to leave, especially when the snow's here. It's a good steep climb out. We have another way to go out, but it's a lot longer, but it's not as steep. Anyway, but it was so deep that he took our little grandson was about, I think about a year or 2 years older, 2.5 maybe, something like that, I think it was. He got on the roof and got the baby up there, and he just, they had like on the roof, they had it made it like a sled trail. And it went right, so you let him go, but got him all bundled up. It was safe, but may not seem like it, but it was perfectly safe. And he let him slide down, and he's going, yay, and he's sliding down the roof, and and he goes out, and right on the roof, there's a little 2-3 foot drop because there's so much snow. It's about 8 foot from the ground to the roof, but it's like 5 feet deep, and his mother was there to catch him. But he went, yay, but Jeff had done it a couple times by himself. But it was really, really, really deep. And it's really scary to be in that situation, because if anything happens, like if medically, and if anything happens, you get hurt or anything like that, or the heater goes out, because we don't have wood heat anymore. We had, but we're getting old now, and I don't want to do 5-6 scores of firewood and all that shit at 73 years old. So we have, propane wall furnace, which runs without power. And but it's when you get snow this deep, no one's getting in to get you. I mean, it's not going to happen, because it's 6 feet or 5 to 6 miles, and it's like I said, it's up to my chin or my nose sometimes. Extreme winters doesn't happen all the time. But it's really a scary thing, and it's you're responsible for keeping me safe, the wife safe. Kids are gone now, and but Jeff, now he's a man. He's on his own and everything with his wife and kids. But he does a good job. But it is something that's terrifies me. But it's something that we knew about when we decided to move up here. Connie and I made a decision that a choice that we knew what was coming, especially when he got older. We were young then, but we knew that when he got older, it's going to be like it is, and it is. And if something happens, a heart attack, or and I've had a history of strokes, anything like that, it's no one's going to be able to get out or to get in to get me or Connie or anybody. So that's a lot of like I say, the evils of living out this far. It's got a lot of beautiful things in it, as far as the beautiful scenery and the beautiful life that we do have here. But wintertime, you always have to worry about the snow coming, and in the summer, you got to worry about the fires. And we've had a lot of fires here right around the house. Not in our house, but, the neighboring properties too. So, but that's the number one thing I tell people. They say, well, beautiful, I give my right arm to live out what you do. And that's great, and I do appreciate that. I think nice words and everything. But boy, it's unforgiving, as I said in one other video. And we're on our own, and if something happens, well, we decide if we have to meet our maker here by ourselves, we do it. But like I said, my grandson Jeff, he's a trooper. He's got a nice little house down below, and he's got a wife and, going to be 4 kids here pretty quick. So anyway, but this one day was about the storm we got. It had been snowing for days. It was about 5 feet deep at the high spots. And it was so deep you really can't walk or anything, logically. And so, but I always worry about the roofs caving. And we have, pretty well-built roofs. But when you get 5 feet on a roof like this, and, then it rains, if it turns to rain, then you've got a lot of weight, even more weight, and you can cave roofs in. And, so it's scary. It's scary. But enough of that. This one winter, it was really, really, really deep, 5 feet. And I've got a skid steer. And it's, I don't know how you describe it. Some people call them a bobcat, but they're little tiny things, but they're really powerful. And they have a loader bucket on the front. But I bought a really big, powerful snowblower. It's $6,000-7,000 attachment for it, and it runs good. And we ended up, it was so hard, and I went out, and it was about 4 feet deep at the time. It got up to about 5. And Jeff, to come to my house, took him about 45 minutes or something just to walk up the hill because of the deep snow, because he has to get to my house. And we decided to go ahead and, take the snowblower. Now, the snowblower should only have about, maybe, the manufacturer said about 2.5 feet. Well, it was about 4 feet at the time, and we hooked it all up and everything, and chained the tractor up, and and everything. And I had to set the idle up to full bore, and we had to go ahead, and we were going out, and it was so slow. I mean, it's I mean, it was when they call inching your way out. I mean, that's what it was. And we have about not quite a mile to go out to get to the main road, and then you don't even know if the main road's going to be plowed. They don't plow it all the time. Just once in a while they will. Sometimes they don't. We're so far out, we're the last person on anybody's mind. So Jeff walked ahead of me or behind me, and in case I had something got stuck in the router or rigor, well, whatever it is. And he had shut it off and he'd dig it out, and so we had to walk. But it was so slow. I mean, I'm talking literally inching away. I mean, and it took me 2 days. Now we were working 12-hour days, but it took us. I think we were working about 6 to 8 hours the first day. And we got out about halfway out, I guess, maybe, something like that. And we're going uphill as well. So the second day, we got out about, we got all the way out. But it was it's not exhausting. The thing about it is you're freezing to death. I don't have an enclosed cab and all that stuff, so you're out there. And snow's brushing in you're sitting in snow and in the cab. But it was something. We finally got out, and then the thing about it is that Jeff had to park his car up by our house because I tried to get my skid steer down to his place, and I've done it to plow down there, but I can't. It's too steep, and I can't get the tractor up the hill. I tried it twice and been stuck down there till everything cleared up. So anyway, so I can't. So he has to. To get his family out, he has to walk all the way up here, which is, maybe third of a mile to a half a mile just to get to his truck. And then he can drive out. So anyway, this is not really a story, it's just something I want to relate to you how it is. And, like I said, I've enjoyed so much our lives up here. We've been here, I think, 48, 49 years. And it's been really a great time. But there do have, bad times. They're very bad times, and they're very worrisome. We've had, like if the heater goes out, like I said, or anything, and you can't get out and nobody can get in. I don't know how if you could get a hold of anybody. I don't even know how you didn't tell them where we're at because everything's so covered in snow and white. And also, half the time where we're at, the phone goes out. They have because they get where the tower is at so buried, something happens, they can't get it out. So or get the lines clear, whatever they got to do in there, and our phones go out. So you're in here with no phone. Our grandson and I, we do walkie-talkies. We have a set of walkie-talkies that go pretty far. So that's how we communicate. So anyway, this not too much of a story, I guess, but things I had in my mind I'd like to mention to you. Thanks a lot, and I appreciate it. Bye-bye.